The Yunzii AL66 is a sturdy and compact mechanical keyboard that gets all of the basics right and even has a few surprises in store. Thank you to Yunzii for sending me this keyboard over to review. My wife has been on the lookout for a pink keyboard for quite some time now, but they are surprisingly difficult to come by unless you want to build your own from scratch. And that's why of the 4 colour options, I was really happy to choose the pink version. But don't let that cute aesthetic throw you off, because this is a pretty solid mechanical keyboard. It weighs in at just over 1.1 kilograms, which means it's not going to move around too much on your desk. Its aluminium base gives it a nice sheen, which makes the colour more nuanced than it looks on their website, and I think it looks professional as well as cute on this desk. Meanwhile, the battery offers up to 90 hours of typing time, meaning you can use this in either the 2.4 GHz or Bluetooth modes comfortably for a good couple of weeks without having to plug it in. Now, while this keyboard does have a strong foundation, you're not going to get some of the flourishes that you might find from other pre-built mechanical keyboard manufacturers. The rubber feet will protect the base of your keyboard, but they aren't adjustable, and it also comes with no VIA software, so you won't be able to remap any of the key combos on your computer. Being a 65% keyboard, you're of course not going to expect a function row, but one thing I do like on a more compact keyboard is a little better indication of what the number keys are going to do when I use them in combination with the function button. The AL66 does have that extra mode of input though, which is of course the dial in the top right hand corner. Now if you press this down too heavily, it does kind of move all of the keys down with it, which is a slight concern for me in terms of build quality, but generally it's a nice thing to have. Out of the box, it's going to control some of the RGB settings, which wasn't very useful to me, but if you long press it for 3 seconds, the rest of the keyboard will flash red, and from that point on you'll be able to use it to control the volume. And there are quite a lot of these nice little tweaks throughout the keyboard that can just take it up a notch. For example, I'm not a huge fan of the RGB lights along the sides of the keyboard. If you press space and function together though, you can switch off the side lights and still keep on the RGB lights, which do add quite a nice pop of colour underneath the keycaps. I'm not completely anti-RGB, I really like how it's been integrated in the Yunzii AL60 for example, but I think this particular keyboard looks better when it's toned down a little bit. The default fuchsia spacebar is for me a little too vibrant. Comes across as garish on a professional desk setup. I swapped out for the yellow for a bit and then realised that actually white was the way to go. Suddenly you've taken a very loud keyboard aesthetic and paired it back to one that works in any professional setting. Taking the time to get this keyboard looking and feeling exactly how you want it is worth it though, because when you actually sit down to type, this is a really nice experience. The AL66 ships with Yunzii's proprietary milk switches. They offer linear actuation with 35 grams of force and 2.6 millimeters of travel. They feel light and airy to type on, and the keyboard has really low latency even when connected via Bluetooth. I found myself getting really immersed in long form pieces of writing and not making too many typos, which is quite something for me. Recently I've been using switches with a little more G-force, so it feels quite refreshing to come back to one which doesn't require as much effort to actually press the keys, and I've noticed that as well over long periods at work. I've felt less fatigued by the end of the day. To give you a better idea though, let's go into a bit of a sound test. Yunzii has done a solid job with the AL66, provides a great base to type on, and unless you want to really get into some fancy features, it does all of the basics extremely well. The Yunzii AL60 V2 is perhaps a slightly more nuanced, compact mechanical keyboard though, so check out this video if you want to see if that is the right option for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.